Okay, welcome to this presentation about the food degrees. It's aimed at both students who are starting the foundation year and first year of BSc Nutrition or BSc Food Science and Technology. And then we see a group of food students in their traditional environment, one of the food labs. Just an overview of what we'll look at in this session. Don't worry if it seems a lot, or if it seems to be a lot during the course of the week. Staff will revisit these ideas throughout the year. We'll talk about these highly successful former students in lectures. As we'll discover a bit later on, our graduates do very well in their chosen professions. You'll meet some of them in careers focus sessions and the opportunity to ask questions. So this is the overall plan for the week. The sessions with the yellow background are done with the food team. Obviously, congratulations to those who managed to get to the session on Tuesday. If not, this video is for those who didn't and anyone who wants to revisit the ideas we talked about. On Thursday, you have a team exercise in the food labs. And on Friday, you'll have a session called Your Profession, where you'll be meeting some current and former students to talk about the course and the wider professional environment. The other sessions in blue cover a range of important issues, some which we'll talk about a bit later on. We do recommend you attend them. Again, this is what various members of the staff will be doing. The dates are obviously wrong there. I didn't update it in my mind map, so it's Tuesday, Thursday and Friday for these. Again, it's a lot, but don't worry, we'll come back and talk about all this again. Padlet is shared online whiteboard, which you can use to post questions. It's very easy to use. You just click on the image or open it with a QR reader. The camera on your iPad will open the QR code directly. We will, of course, see you several times in the week, so if you want to save questions for the sessions when we meet you, that's just fine as well. So here are the core food staff who will introduce themselves throughout the week. The picture on the top left is of food students and staff in their traditional dress in one of our food labs. There's Laura and myself, and you see Kim, our brilliant lead food lab technician, in the foreground. We have a number of food lab technicians who will support you through your endeavours in the food lab. In the background we see last year's first year enjoying annual Pancake Day lab, always a highlight. You appoint a range of interactive resources during the week, including this campus map. You'll find certainly my presentation, if you click on images or you look in the notes page, they will open up various resources. So that will open up the map, and this will open up a video about the university. I'm not going to go through in this presentation, you can do this yourselves. You have to do it from the presentation. If I have time, I will add the links to the YouTube video. Blackboard is a key tool, and we'll look at it in a considerable amount of detail as we go through the modules. You will have a course module designated by a hash. So one of these two, we shall have one of those two. This will be used to share information with all the students on your course. You will also have 3 taught Blackboard modules each semester, and the module staff will review them for you. You should familiarise yourself with Blackboard and log in every day to make sure you are kept up to date. These are the modules of foundation year. The year for all students is divided into 2 semesters, so now until about Christmas, and then the end of January up until around May. And you do 3 modules in each semester, I beg your pardon, and each module is worth 20 credits, making a total of 120 credits each year. And when you get 360 credits for the degree, that's your degree. In the first year, the 2 food courses study identical modules, so we're seeing quite a lot of each other. Second year, things change a little bit. The nutrition students do human metabolism and life course and health, whereas the food science and technology students do food technology and bioreactors and fermentation. Similarly, in the final year, the nutrition students do sports nutrition and physiology, and they also do clinical nutrition and dietetics in semester 2, whereas the food science and technology students do advanced food manufacturing and food safety management and law. Okay, timetables can be a bit confusing. This is one for biochemistry. First, note that the red sessions are regular weekly taught sessions. In this example, it's of biochemistry, and we're part of a much wider group with all the science students. This is why there are so many blue sessions for the labs. You're not doing all of these, you'll be doing one of these sessions. I don't know which one because it's decided by the module staff, which I'm not included in this particular module, and they will inform you on. We'll also notice the weeks at the top. The labs don't start till week 9 in this particular module. Any questions about particular modules, ask the module staff. They're in the best place to talk about them. During the course, you'll use many different learning approaches, including lectures, highly interactive tutorials, which we do expect you to fully engage with, practical work both in the lab and wider context. So say we might do some mapping, for example. Blackboard is a key resource, and you'll find our lectures and associated teaching material there, usually before a taught session. Staff routinely record lectures, which will be available in Blackboard, and I have a YouTube site where I have previous lectures and various technique videos, so other people may as well. In-person meetings may be supplemented by online meetings during Teams, using Teams for example. Each module has one assessment, which is normally submitted towards the end of the module. End exams take place in the 2 weeks after the end of the teaching semester, that is weeks 13 and 14. So that would be in January next year for the first set of exams. In some cases, practical exams may take place during the normal semester period, and that may be the case with anatomy and physiology. In that case, module staff will inform you about the details. Now, an ICA is an in-course assessment which may be based on a range of models here. So, for example, in nutrition and health, you will do what is essentially a research essay. And as I say, I think in biochemistry, I think you do a lab report for that. In one of the second semester modules for food sustainability, you do a verbal presentation. And there may be other related models as well. But these are the main ones, I think. Staff will brief students on the assessment in week 1, and the information will be available by Blackboard and the module handbook. During the course of the module, workshops will be held to support assessment development. The nature of these will depend on the individual module. A submission date will be published at the start of the module, and after submission, marks and feedback will be published within 20 working days. This is an example of an assessment brief, or part of one anyway, for the Semester 1 Nutrition and Health module, and you may want to start thinking about this now. Think about a campaign in public health, nutrition that you may want to analyse. There'll also be action now, starting with a campaign to analyse. There'll also be a full presentation and a number of workshops on this. We use standard feedback sheets based on categorical marking. That is, the marking scheme is broken down into a number of components such as structure and use of evidence, and you get a mark for each of those components, and they are essentially totaled up. During the module, further guidance will be given as what is expected. As I said, numerical marks will be allocated to each of these categories, with your final mark being derived from the overall sum. Notice all the high and poor quality indicators. These are a general guide to the marking scheme. Staff will also provide more detailed comments. In some cases, this will be a general review of the work. In others, detail may be provided for each category. You should use this feedback to develop your skills and your approach to future assessments. As a TU student, you get a free copy of Office. This is installed in your iPad, but you should download a copy on your laptop or desktop. All of your assignments will be submitted electronically. It is important to use Office applications such as Word and Excel. Don't use applications like OpenOffice, which may have incompatibility or security issues. You also have free access to Adobe's Creative Cloud, which includes things like Photoshop, for example. Staff will look at particular applications, but you should investigate the possibilities yourself. Later in the week, TU staff will introduce you to these digital resources, and the QR code there links to the student software download page, but other people will talk to you in more detail about this. You also use a range of food-specific software, including the Nutritics Diet Analysis tool. In the second year, you'll use AutoCAD to help develop a food manufacturing facility. A range of other free-to-use software will be used, such as the ArcGIS mapping tool, which has well been a powerful tool for understanding public health data. It provides novel ways of presenting. As I mentioned, if you click on images, you'll see links to them. So there's a link there to using ArcGIS story maps. There's a link here to an interactive map of index of multiple deprivation scores and other data, and an interesting link here to a SWAY about potentials for the biophilic university. So have a look at all of these in your own time. You get £100 worth of free physical textbooks each year of your study via the Teesside Advanced scheme, and we do strongly recommend you get these physical textbooks. Hopefully we'll get someone coming to talk to you early in the year. Module staff will be happy to advise you about textbooks. For the first year, we recommend MAN, Essentials of Human Nutrition, and Crone Bradshaw, Chemistry of the Biosciences, which will be good for the second year, both good for the second year as well. For students who join in the second year, so students from China, We recommend Cooltate, food and chemistry of its components. Ready for next year, an ambitious £35 million science, health and engineering and medical facility, which will have a full floor given over to food labs. Probably quite exciting. We encourage you to develop professional links. Now, in the final session of the week, the professional links session, you'll be meeting some current and former students who'll talk to you about the wider environment, talk about the university and study and the course and things like that, but also the wider environment and the professional bodies. We recommend you join at least one of the relevant professional bodies, such as IFST or the Nutrition Society. It's quite cheap as a student, only around £20 to £25 a year, and it does open up the wider professional networks, which are very important in developing your professional profile. This is a snapshot of recent TU food graduate destinations taken from my LinkedIn contacts. It only includes current jobs and postgraduate studies, so understates the range of opportunities out there. Apart from the NHS, the food industry is the biggest recruiter of graduates, but food students go into many other areas as well. We'll look at the types of jobs in a moment, but it's worth noting that as well as the roles you might expect, such as in new product development, the food industry also offers roles to dietitians, environmental managers, and many other roles. Okay, it's a little more detailed analysis of graduate destinations. It basically opens up an interactive map of where students have gone to since graduating. So I'll make sure it fits a little bit more. Be a little bit difficult. Yeah, so it's colour coded. So if it's like on dietetics, you'll see quite a big chunk of students going to become dietitians. I mentioned the food industry is by far the biggest employer. You can have a play with this yourself, and I recommend that you do. Quite a few go into nutrition areas. If you click on the image, click on the little bubble, it'll tell you some information about this. So in this case, Middlesbrough Environmental City Sustainable Living Trainer. Various other areas, which also can include, there's a chap there as a vicar, which is an unusual destination, but there we are. And there's the Live and Get Active Chief Executive Officer. Middlesbrough Council Senior Environmental Health Officer, now a manager there. Nimrod Veterinary Products Northern Territory Manager. And postgraduate opportunities, quite a range of these, including PhDs and various masters, both locally and around the world. And the other thing I always want to highlight here is, if it's like just for managers, we notice a large number of our students who go into management roles. You leave this course equipped not only with what you've learned, but the ability to develop your careers further. So there's quite a lot of these. So food ingredients manager, quite a very senior post, Tesco Food and Drink Development Manager. Have a look at this yourself and see where the various students go. Right, okay, moving on. Yeah, make a difference. Your degree is a huge part of your professional profile, but to stand out even more, we recommend students take part in relevant volunteering activities. These may be student-led, such as the organisation of a community market or helping the university, for example, to regain its fair trade status. With many links to outside bodies such as Cultivate Tees Valley and Barefoot Kitchen, you will be meeting people from these organisations throughout the year. In your course, you will develop links to a range of outside bodies. One example being a student who, while working part-time at Quorn, started the development of their vegan range as part of her final year project. And she's now quite a senior product developer there. Think outside the box. A top image is of another student who made a difference as part of the TU Students as Researchers scheme. She researched the potential use of universal design for learning as a concept to improve the design of public health campaigns. We'll talk about this in the first year module. UDL is a set of tools and approaches that help ensure learning is as widely available as possible and has great potential for improving health literacy. So when we redesigned the module a couple of years ago, we integrated her work into UDL into the Year 1 Nutrition and Health module and the Year 2 Life Course and Health module, and she's now studying for a PhD in Public Health. The TU food degrees score very highly in student surveys for their multidisciplinary approach. One example of this is our links with MEMA, Middlesbrough Institute of Modern Art, who among a range of other activities hosted our final year food product development event. We also have links with the meme artist in resident, Laura Wilson's, whose sessions are very popular with the students. This year we've also developed new links to Diabetes UK, so hopefully you'll be meeting them in the first year, hopefully, and then students in subsequent years will be meeting them in different modules for various activities. So what's wrong with this picture? Spot the deliberate mistake. You'll be in the food lab later in the week, and it's important you understand food safety right from the start and act in a responsible way, which I'm sure you will. In the chemistry and biology lab, personal protective equipment is used to protect you from the materials you are using. In the food lab it's different. Here the goal is to protect the food you are using from any exposure to food poisoning organisms, which you may carry without knowing. In the more than a quarter of a century we've had these food labs, we have never had any incidents of food poisoning associated with our labs, and we intend to keep it that way. This is a legal responsibility that's placed on you as well as staff. It's something, I would say, we do successfully, so it's not a gigantic difficulty. You'll need to complete this form before joining the food lab, and we'll also talk about allergens. I'll send some information around this fairly soon. If you haven't been able to do this before Wednesday, you'll need to do it on the day. Again, this is a legal requirement. So, not allowed in the food lab. Large earrings, high heels, you should wear flat shoes, complex rings that may have surfaces of microbes to hide in, nail varnish or false nails. Generally in environments like this, makeup, perfumes, etc. are not allowed. This is true both the food industry and healthcare contexts. Simple stud earrings and plain rings are okay, but take special care when washing hands. And the one ring to rule them all is probably okay as well, but that's a whole other category. If you have any of the symptoms of food poisoning, you are not allowed in the food labs, and that's not a debate. It'd be a very good idea to stay away from the university in general. In fact, you must be free of symptoms for at least 48 hours before you'll be allowed to enter the food lab. In practice means that your household should also be free of symptoms, because you may be carrying it without showing symptoms. Don't worry about this affecting your learning. We'll be very understanding. In the food labs, it is always safety first. Hope you'll enjoy the course and find it eye-opening. No, maybe not always. It's a blind tasting test we did last year. Right, okay, thanks for listening.